Even the powerful queen cannot checkmate the king all by itself. Many times you will find yourself with just your king and queen against the other king, and you need to know how to finish the job. It can be pretty frustrating unless you know what you're doing. Let's see how it works. In this position, we can use an assisted checkmate idea to win the game in just one move. Notice that the white king and queen both meet on the G7 square, right next to the black king. The queen can move to that square, checking the black king, and since the white queen is protected by its own king, the game is checkmate. Delivering a checkmate in the corner of the board is nice, but how do we force the king to the corner and set up checkmate? Let's take a look. In this position, black's king is on the central square D5. In order to checkmate the king, it must be forced to the edge of the board. Notice that the black king can move to any of the other central squares on the next turn, D4, E4, or E5. White's first goal is to prevent the king from staying in the center of the board and pushing it toward the corners. Queen to E3 prevents the king from staying in the center, so the king must move toward the corners. After King D6, White's next job is to prevent the black king from returning to the center. Queen to E4. Notice the queen is keeping the king out of the center, and it's slowly pushing the black king toward the corner. You'll also see that White's queen is always one knight move distance away from the black king. We'll see the white queen continue to shadow the king a knight's distance away for the rest of the game. Black plays King C5, still trying to stay near the center, and White plays Queen D3. After King C6, Queen D4. Notice Black moves up a square, White's queen moves up a square. The Black king moves down a diagonal square, the queen moves down a diagonal square. The king moves up, the queen moves up. Notice always a knight's distance away. After King A7, the king goes up a diagonal square, the white queen goes up a diagonal square as well. Now comes the most important part of this position. After King A8, should the white queen continue to shadow the king a knight's distance away? If Queen D6 is played, the black king does not have a legal square, but it is also not checked. Do you remember what we call that when that happens? That's right, stalemate. It's a draw. So be sure to avoid that move. In this position, once you get the king into the corner, allow it to continue to dance on these two squares, back and forth, until your white king is able to set up an assisted checkmate. Let's see how that works. After King C2, King A7, King C3, King A8, King C4, King A7, King C5, King A8, King C6, King A7. Now that White's king is close to the queen, can you find an assisted checkmate in this position? That's right, Queen to B7, checkmate. The white king assists the queen in delivering the checkmate to the king. Now that you've learned how to checkmate with the queen versus king, it's your turn to practice checkmating the king.